And a warm welcome along to you. My name's Chris Reardon. This is United Kingdom Talk on a rather impromptu visit to my sister's house. I'm coming to you from Woodhall Spa today in Lincolnshire, where it was all very exciting. When I came up here, was it last night or the night before last I came up here? I usually travel around if I'm going somewhere at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, because that is the time when there is no traffic. Always, we don't like traffic, do we? We really don't like traffic. So I came up 2 nights ago. Yesterday it was actually quite nice. The sun was out and everything else. And I was thinking, oh, I'll do the show from her garden. Lovely jubbly. And it hasn't happened, I'm afraid, because today it's pouring down with rain. But my sister has this massive conservatory on the back of her house. And it's all covered. So although it is raining around me, I don't know if you can hear the rain. Can you listen? Can you hear that or not? Oh well, although it is raining around me, I am perfectly dry now. Don't start worrying. I know what you're like. You're all sitting there worrying I'm going to catch a cold and get pneumonia and end up in hospital and have to be repaired there. Do not worry. I am not cold. I am not wet. I am sheltered from the elements. Sheltered from those elements. Well, it's all been happening. It's all been happening. Regular listeners and viewers of the show will know the name Suko. Yes, you know that name, Suko, don't you? Well, she's been here in the UK and we have met. Yes, I have met Suko. Marvellous. You want to know all about it? Shall I tell you? I can hear you bursting to know. I'm bursting to tell you, let me tell you that. Well, it was a Tuesday night that Suko and her family, Jerry and Jade, arranged to meet me in London. And I was being taken out, boys and girls. Taken out. When is the last time anyone took me out anywhere? Eh? I was being taken out and I had to meet them in London at 5:30 because the kindness and goodness of my heart, as they were taking me out, I felt it necessary to do something for them, and I really pushed the boat out, boys and girls. But I'll get to that. Don't rush me. Don't rush me. I will get to that. First of all, I'm rushing around the house on the Tuesday. I thought I would marry it up with a visit to my sisters afterwards. So here's the story. Was it last Tuesday or the Tuesday before? I can't remember now. Oh, Tuesday before. You see, for me, this was 2 days ago, but by the time you watch this, a week will have passed. Time goes so quickly, dears. It really does, because we are recorded a week in advance. So if I say to you 2 days ago, you know what I mean, okay? So 2 days, what is it, 2 days ago? Yeah, 2 days ago. It was a Tuesday morning. And as usual, I'm trying to rush around the house, preparing for my long journey into London and my even longer journey up to my sister's in Woodhall Spa. You know how it is, you're running around the house all the time. But one of the things to allow me to do this, because I have lots of tomatoes and peppers and things growing in the garden at the moment. Yes, I'm going to open my own greengrocers. Now, this greengrocers will probably be open for just 2 weeks of the year while I sell my glut. Yes, I will be able to sell my glut in September. Tomatoes everywhere. One of the things with tomatoes is that you must not let them dry out. Otherwise, the skins get all split. There's nothing worse than a split skin. Isn't that right, boys? We don't like a split skin, let alone split ends. Oh, horrifying split ends. So I purchased this little, did I show it on the last show or not? I can't remember now. This little gadget, yes, it's this week's gadget. Da, 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 da. And you simply screw it onto your tap, your outside tap, right? You adjust a few settings, bleep, 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 and it waters the garden at a given time for a given amount of time, daily, or every 2 days, or every week. Marvellous. Oh, it's marvellous. So you set up your sprinkler. Of course, the best thing, I mean, I would advise, if you're thinking about doing one, did you know such things existed? Because I didn't. Automatic plant watering, dear. Fantastic. So if you're going to buy one of these things, if you're going away and you're thinking about it, then I would advise you buy it a few days before you go, okay? So that you can test it out and make sure everything's working. And I'm glad that, oh, I'm going to sneeze. Oh. Oh. Now, one of the things I get while I'm at my sister's, I'm afraid, is hay fever, or no, not hay fever. I'm very allergic because she's got 4 gorgeous dogs and 2 lovely cats up here. I don't know where the dogs are. Shall we call one and see? Barney! Barney! He might come, he might not. I don't know if he can hear me. Barney! I can't hear any footsteps. No, well, maybe they'll come out later. Yeah, buy it before you go so that you can test it out and know how it all works. And I'm glad I did, because I took this thing out of the packet, and of course I'd forgotten that, of course, it needs batteries, isn't it? So I searched around in my cupboard for a couple of batteries, and once again the battery drawer came up trumps. Have you got one of those drawers? I bet you've got one of those drawers in your kitchen where all the rubbish goes. Old batteries, keys, plastic bags. Have you got one of those drawers? I bet you have, haven't you? When's the last time you cleared that out, you dirty devils? Clear out half of those things you won't want in there, I guarantee it. And half the batteries that are in there are probably 10 years old as well. Am I right? Of course I'm right, dear. I'm always right. Sometimes. No, all of the time. So I found 2 batteries in the battery drawer. I shoved them in this device. You have to unscrew the back, put the batteries on, screw the back on, and then screw this thing onto a tap. Now, the tap must have one of those screw bits on the end of it. It doesn't seem to be a way that you could attach the gadget with like a rubber suction or anything like that. All right, you've got to have the screw bit on the bottom of the tap. Very important, that. So I did that and set it up, and I followed the instructions, which actually were slightly incorrect. It was saying on the instructions that you had to turn the dial on the red section to the correct time. And I looked, and there was no red section. However, there was a scale that went from 1 to 24, so I assumed that's what it meant. Rather cleverly, I got that right. Set it all up, and that was it. Right, okay. So I think it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so I set it for 4 o'clock. And then you have to set what time you want the water to come on. So I then set that for 5 o'clock, you know, an hour later, and the duration of the watering, which I set for an hour and a half. So that was done, and I thought, right, turned it on, because you have to set it for off, automatic, or on, so I set it for automatic. And then I thought, right, I'll wait till 5 o'clock and see what happens, right? 5 o'clock came and the water came on. Oh, how fantastic. You see, I've got all these automatic things in the house now. I don't really need to be there anymore, do I? You know, humans, I don't think we're necessary anymore. I'm sure we're not. Everything's automatic, isn't it? Anyway, and so the water started pouring down on the grass. It was a very sunny day, so I thought, fair enough, well, I know that works. I'll turn that off now. And what I'll do is make it come on between 12 midnight and 1 o'clock in the morning, because the best time to water a garden is not when the sun... In fact, that's the worst time you can water it. Even early evening, the ground is still warm. So a lot of the water evaporates back up again. Best time to water your garden is in the middle of the night, say 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. So I set this thing at 12 o'clock, and I thought, well, it will work while I'm at work. And then when I come back, I'll see if it's wet or not. And I thought, oh, what if the water has all sunk into the grass and I won't know if it was worked or not? So rather cleverly, the second clever thing I did that day was I put an empty bowl down near the sprinkling system. So I knew it would fill up with water. How clever am I? You see? There's always an answer. Always an answer. So that was that. Went to work, came back, and I looked in my bowl and it was dry. It was dry as the bottom of a budgerigard's cage. It really was. I thought, oh, something wrong there. So I had another look at this device, and I thought, now why didn't that work? And I took out the batteries and tested them with my multimeter. Oh, we've got all the gadgets in my house, dear. And you know what? One of the batteries was almost flat, so it was that. And I thought, right, no more saving money. Rush down to the local newsagents and purchase some new batteries, which I did. I put them in the device, set it up again the next night, and it, put in the bowler. And the next night I came back from work, and it was full of water. So I know that's working now. So that is all set up at home. I'm only away for well, by the time you see this, I'm back home. But I was only away for 3 days. But in that time, you see, as I say, it's very, very important to keep things like tomatoes and peppers watered, or they will split. And you will ruin what you're growing. All those months and weeks of work that you've actually put into doing this stuff will be ruined by just not watering. So a little bit of advice there. But a fantastic little gadget. Not expensive, £32 this thing was. And relatively easy to set up. But always put new batteries in. Alright, so that's in there. So on the Tuesday, I left my house it was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, because I was due to meet Suko and her family at 5:30 in the afternoon. Travelled into London. What I did now, parking in. I'm sorry, I'm moving about a bit today because my sister has got this rocking chair, which I thought would be a good idea. Can you hear that? Listen. I'm rocking. I feel like Val Doonican. So yes, some of my best friends are songs, some of them old ones, some of them new, all of them waiting. I'm sitting in a rocking chair today, and I thought it would be a fantastic idea to do a show in a rocking chair. But actually, what I didn't realise is that you actually sit quite far back in a rocking chair, and for those of you watching YouTube, it doesn't look right. So I'm rather uncomfortably trying to sit forward in a rocking chair, but it's awkward. Anyway, so I left my house, driving through London, and it was rather wet. Now, when I say rather wet, there were these very, very heavy showers and thunder and lightning and everything. I don't know what. Suko must have brought it all over with her from New York. Shocking, really. Absolutely shocking. Anyway, so what I did is I parked at my friend's house, who's in East London, because parking in London is a real nightmare, as I've mentioned before. After 6:30 at night, you can generally park on what are single yellow lines. Now, they are lines down the side of the road. We have single yellow, we've got double yellow, we've got single red, we've got double red. You can't really park on any of them except single yellow lines, and that is after 6:30 at night. And, you know, the council must time this all to make it as awkward as possible for people. Because Suko was taking me to the theatre, right? And the show starts at 7:30. So I said, let's go out for a meal. You see, wait for it. I'm going to tell you about the meal in a minute. Don't rush me, I keep telling you. As I say, if you want to have a meal first, if you're coming in by car, you've only got an hour to do it. Well, not even an hour, because you can't park on the single yellow lines until after 6:30 in the evening. Okay? Show starts at 7:30. Do you see what I'm saying here? By the time you got in a restaurant, they usually take 15 minutes to serve you. And wherever you are within the vicinity of the theatre, it's going to take you at least 15 minutes to walk there. 10, 15 minutes, I would say, to walk there. And there's just not enough time to do these things. If it was, you can park on yellow lines after 5:30, it would be so. And I'm convinced that the council's time this all to make it as awkward as possible. So what I did is I got on. I drove to my friend's place in East London, and I walked to the tube station, the underground station from his house, and then got an underground station into central London. Where was it now? The Embankment station, which is quite near all the theatres. And did it like that. So I arrived at my friend's house, and I sat in the car for 15 minutes while this water was pouring down out of the sky. You've never seen anything like it. It was like someone turned on a tap and just left it running. It seriously was as bad as that. So after that, there was a little newsagent, a very small newspaper shop nearby, right near where I parked my car. So this rain was continuing. I thought, well, I've got to start moving at some point, otherwise I'm going to be late. And Chris Reardon doesn't like to be late. I do not like to be late, boys and girls. It is true. So I popped in this newsagent, and I said to the guys in there, I said, do you sell umbrellas? And he pointed, and there they were, umbrellas, sitting there for all to see on the side of the wall. So I bought one of those, about £2.99, and started walking, what I thought was the direction of Old Street Tube Station. And as I've said so many times before, one of my biggest bugbears is I have no sense of direction. I cannot find my way around. This may be the reason why I don't like travelling. I really don't like travelling to other countries and places like that, because I get lost so easily and I start panicking. Yeah, and people say to you, when you ask them directions, oh, it's easy, all you've got to do is... And I'm thinking, don't say it's easy, because it's not. For me, it is not easy. Cannot find my way around. So I set off walking. 20 minutes later... and in the meantime, it's pouring down with rain. I eventually ask someone, excuse me, can you tell me where the tube station is? Oh yes, if you go down there, now where was it? Liverpool Street Station. I thought Liverpool Street? That's not where I was going, but it doesn't matter. I thought I'd find a tube station, so I carried on walking in the direction. Apparently I was walking in the right direction anyway. It was a straight line down the road, so that's a good thing. Meanwhile, the puddles in the road, on the side of the road, are getting bigger and bigger. And of course, you know what happened, don't you? I'm walking along the road, about to cross the road, and there's this car, and splash, the entire right-hand side of me got soaked. And we're not talking a little bit of water here, absolutely soaked. And I felt, of course, you feel really stupid, don't you? So I didn't stop. I carried on walking, thinking I'm so wet. Not only was I wet on my new jeans, which I purchased just to see Suko, because I knew she would have looked down her nose that I wore a pair of tracksuit bottoms. So I have my brand new jeans on. I'll try and show you a bit there. There we go. They suit my bum quite nice. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see. But if you're not, these are the new jeans, right? If you're not watching it on YouTube, then you just imagine someone with a really cute bum now standing in front of you, and that's me. All right. Oh, I spent money on this, dear. How much do you think these jeans were? Here's a clue. It's the most I have ever spent on a pair of trousers. £90, dear. £90 on one pair of jeans. But I thought I must look nice for Suko, and I haven't got a blooming clue where it comes to clothes. My friend Ron, who you'll hear about a bit more later on, he knows about clothes. He's always spending, and he spends a lot of money on clothes. He's got a wardrobe full of things like Ralph Lauren shirts and jeans that cost a lot more than £90. But anyway, so I bought these from Bentall's in Bracknell a couple of days before, and actually I quite like them. What I was really horrified about was the size I had to buy. Now listen, I'm not going to shout this out loud because there's lots of people listening. Just between you and me, the 34 I couldn't get into. These are size 36 waist, okay? Don't tell anyone yet. That's just because I know you quite well, alright? Size 36 jeans. But after talking to my friend Justin on the phone, he said, what make are they? And I said, is it G90? Hang on, I can't remember now. Let me have a look. I shall never be able to see this. 1 minute. 1 minute. Oh, wait. No. Well, it says G Star 96 Raw. Oh, I've dropped something. Whatever that means. Okay. G Star 96 Raw. That's the make of the jeans. They're quite a loose fit, but they are size 36 waist. Okay. But my friend Justin says, oh, he says, no, that's okay. He said to me, that's what they are. They are that size, they are slightly smaller than the usual sizes, okay? Which made me feel a lot better, to be honest. So there I was, in my new G-Star 96 waist, or whatever they are, 36 waist, in my new jeans, rather wet now, walking along towards Liverpool. But of course you don't stop and start doing that, do you? And trying to dry yourself, because you look stupid. So it's a bit like, you know, when you fall over and something like that, when something, and the worst part of it is not the fact that you were hurt, but the fact that people saw you fall over. Don't you hate that? So I carried on walking, and eventually I got to Liverpool Street Station, and it's a big station, and once again I'm lost now, and I'm looking around starting to panic. Where do I go? Where do I go? So I managed to get a ticket. That was £4 one way, rather expensive. But if you come to London, you want to get an Oyster card. A lot of the newsagents have. Just ask someone, where can I get an Oyster card from? Because then you get. I'm not exactly sure how it works, the Oyster card, but I think all the journeys you do on the tube trains and the buses are half the price, okay? So think about that if you come into London. Do not hire a car if you're just coming to London. It's a complete waste of time, and it's a pain to park anywhere. Do not hire a car to come to London. You use the buses and the tubes, all right? So, paid my fare. I asked a bloke, can you tell me how to get to Embankment, please? Yeah, just go down that platform. Of course, I went down this platform. I'm looking at the map of the tube, and I thought, I can't see the station now I want to travel to. So I had to walk around there for a while, went back upstairs, asked someone else, and he sent me to another platform, dear. Oh, blimey. Don't know where I'm going. So got on the right train. That was quite nice. It wasn't too hot down there, actually. It was quite a pleasant day. Got to Embankment Station, come up there, and once I got up there, I recognised where I was straight away, because I used to DJ in a club just round the corner from Embankment Station called Heaven. That was about 3 years ago, and I stopped doing that for that one. So that was nice. I got there about 10 to 5, so I was well in time, because I didn't have to meet Suko till 5:30, and I knew the pizza place was just a little bit, you know, up a hill, turn right, and I was almost there. So I thought, well, I've got half an hour to kill now, and there it was, Starbucks coffee. Now, I'm not a fan of Starbucks or Costa Coffee or anything like that, because I think they're horrendously expensive for a cup of tea. However, I had half an hour to kill, and I thought, bite the bullet and pay the money, Chris Reardon. So I then walked into a Starbucks coffee and ordered a large cup of English breakfast tea. And I sat down on a little table there with my new mobile phone. I haven't showed you my new mobile phone yet, have I? 1 minute, it's in my pocket. New mobile phone, Nokia. I now own the free upgrade, okay? Free upgrade. New Nokia 5800 Express Music, and it's actually a marvellous little gadget. You may remember I had the Samsung before this, which was a flat screen. Was it a flat screen or a touch screen phone? But the signal was not good on it, on the Samsung. So I rung up Orange, and marvellous customer services there, really, and I told them my problems, because I'm not supposed to have if I'm having a problem with the phone, it will be replaced but on a like-for-like basis. All right? So you're supposed to get the same phone that you've had the problem with come back for the post. But did I tell you this on the last show? Did I? I can't remember now. Well, anyway, so I rung them up and kindly, I had to sign up for another 18. It's a contract phone, right? So you sign up for a period of time. Now, last time, the last upgrade I got was with the Samsung phone, all right? And I signed up for 18 months, which is fine. I've been with Orange since 1995, so I've been with them a long time. And when I rang them up, they said, I said, I've had a big problem with this phone. I said, the signal has never been as good as the Nokia one. Is there any chance you can change it for a Nokia? And he says, and he comes back to me and he says, I'm sorry, sir, the insurance that you've got does state that you can only do it on a like-for-like basis. However, I noticed that you've been with us since 1995 and you've never missed a payment. Can I call you back in 15 minutes? I said, yes, please. He said, I'll have a word with the supervisor. So he did that. He came back. He said, right. He said, well, the thing is, you've still got another 227 days on this contract to run. However, as you're such a good customer, if you would, what we'll do is cut that down so that you've only got another 3 months on this contract. If you agree to take out another 18-month contract, okay, on the same tariff you're on, we'll add 3 months to that, making it 21 months contract. And if you agree to that, we'll allow you to go on the Orange website and choose any Nokia phone that you want. How does that sound? I mean, that's fair enough, isn't it? Come on. That is good customer services. Really good customer services. And I don't understand why companies can't get it in their thick heads that that's what customers want. We don't just want the cheapest deal. We want customer services. You remember the sports club, that lovely, don't get me wrong, lovely sports club up the road? When it came to the renewal, I told them I thought it was too expensive. Oh, okay, sir, bye-bye. You know, no attempt at all made at keeping me as a customer. And a lot of people will tell you, companies know that it's cheaper to keep old customers than try and find new ones. And I just don't get it. Anyway, 4 marks to Orange for that. Fantastic. Really, really pleased with that. Completely opposite to one of the mobile phone companies I had. At one point, I had 2 telephones. Different numbers for different things. I can't remember, what was the other? Oh, they were on different tariffs, and that's why I had 2 different ones. And the other one was with the 3 network. Okay? I am going back now about 5 years. And it was cheap, I'll give it that. It was the cheapest by far of all the networks. While it worked, it was okay. But when I run into difficulties, oh my God, it was some of the worst customer services I have ever experienced. It was dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. And I swore I would never ever go with 3 again. It was terrible, and some of my friends have also had problems with them. I don't know about you. Always feel free to join in, by the way. Perhaps, what's your experience with mobile telephones, eh? Do let us know. The email address of the show is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Anyway, so I then sat in the Starbucks, ordered my tea, large cup of tea, which was nearly £2. £2 for a cup of tea, eh? What a liberty, dear. What a shocking, shocking liberty. Anyway, so I sat there. I got my mobile phone out, my new Nokia 5800, because it's got Wi-Fi in it. Yes, so I thought I'd try that. But I mean, I did get on with it all right, and I was able to actually retrieve emails with it, which was fantastic. Because I think Starbucks, they've got free internet in there, and it worked on my phone, so I'm well happy about that. Well happy about that. So I did that for a while, and the weather outside was actually, it had dried up a bit. There were no more rain coming down while I was sitting there having my tea. And then it started just coming down lightly, the rain. And I thought, right, well, it's time to go now, and I'll get up to the place I'm taking them out to dinner. I haven't told you yet. Yeah, well, have I? Oh, no. So I started walking, and within a minute of me walking, the heavens opened. And I mean, it was like a monsoon. It really was. It was pouring down. And as the water, it was coming down so hard that the water was landing on the floor and then splashing back up again. I did have my umbrella, yes, but it was coming down with such an angle and such ferocity that my back got soaking wet. And I had my jeans on, my new £90 jeans. And I had this very shirt on that I've got on today, and the back of it was soaked. So I rushed along to where I was to meet Suko, and I got in there, and it was... oh, you're wondering where I took her? Did I take her to a posh restaurant? Yes, of course I took her to a posh restaurant. You've probably got one there where you are. Pizza Hut, it's called. There's nothing wrong with Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut is fine, dear. Okay? So I went in there and I said, oh, hello. He said, would you like a table? I said, yes, I've got to meet some people here. I need a table for 4, please, but I can't order for about 10 minutes until they arrive. Is that okay? No problem at all, sir. Where would you like to sit? I said, oh, by the window, then I can see if they're coming from their hotel. Lovely, thank you very much. So I sat down there, and as I leant back, my back was horribly wet, so I popped into the toilet, and fortunately I had an old grey hooded top in my bag. I didn't really want to wear it because I thought it was a little bit scruffy to be meeting people for the first time, but nevertheless it was either that or catch death from pneumonia. So I went in the toilet, put that on, and come back and sat down, and about 10 minutes later I was looking out the window, and there was Suko's little face. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. So I got up from the chair and met them at the front door, and Suko and her daughter Jade came in, and we had a cuddle. It's the first time I've met her. We had a little cuddle, and her husband Jerry was outside smoking a cigarette, so we sat down, and I presented Suko with 4 United Kingdom Talk / bingo mugs. Oh yes, I'm all heart, I am. And Suko presented me with an I Love New York t-shirt and 3 cans of Bush's baked beans. That may seem an odd present to you, but Suko knows what Chrissy likes. And Chrissy likes baked beans, and Chrissy does like Bush baked beans, which you can't get. I don't think you can get them here in this country. You can only get them in America. So thank you, Suko, for my little gift there. So Jerry came in, and Jerry's Suko's husband, and he's a great conversationalist. A fantastic conversationalist he is. So we sat there talking about various different things, really. And then it was time to walk up to the theatre, where I was being taken to see The Lion King. Matuna, Makata, Matuna, Makata, and all that song. Can you feel the love tonight? So we got to the theatre, and let me think now. It was quite busy outside the theatre because we got there around about 7:15, 7:20, so just 10 minutes to get in there and get sat down and what have you. And we walked through there with the masses of people, and I think Suko bought a programme. Oh, that was interesting. Here in the UK, if you want a programme, then you have to buy one. Apparently, in New York, that all comes as part of the ticket price. So you pay your ticket price, and I should remember that because I did go and see Mamma Mia in New York many, many years ago. So Suko got a programme, and we went down to sit. Do you know where we were sitting? Shall I tell you where we were sitting? Second row from the front. fantastic position. We could see the orchestra pit and a conductor waving around his hand. Oh, what a great position. Suko said that it's not the best seats in the house. The best seats in the house are back further. But I don't agree, Suko. That is the best seat in the house. I know, like, if you were to sit much further back, you would see the whole stage. You wouldn't have to move your head. But I quite like that, having to move my head and follow people around all the time. So there we are. 7:30 came, bang on time. The lights went down and the place erupted. There was a lot of children there because it's kind of their thing, isn't it? The Disney thing and what have you. And the whole place broke out into cheering and clapping as the lights went down. And the atmosphere was absolutely electric in there. And it's the first time I have been to a theatre for many, many years. It really is. And when you're sitting there with all those people, I think it's the children that make it. The feeling in there, the electric feeling was just amazing. Amazing. Curtain came up and the show started, and all these animals, or people dressed as animals, started walking through the audience and onto the stage. The opening is just astounding. Or as you Americans say, it was awesome. Awesome. And we're clapping and Suko's clapping. Oh, wow. And I don't know what else to say about it, really. The costumes are really magnificent. My favourite character was this big woman who had her face painted, and she's got a grass skirt on and keeps shaking her bum. I'm not quite sure what the character's called. She's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. I also liked the hyenas, because they kept laughing all the time. Hyenas are happy but nasty, aren't they, I suppose? Maybe they've been given a bit of a bad press, hyenas. Eh? I mean, where are you now? Are you sitting in an office somewhere listening to this? Have a look around you. What a miserable load of so-and-sos you've got working around you today, haven't you? Come on, cheer up. What's wrong with these people? Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, though your face is breaking. Or words to that effect. Half-time came. Oh, that's what I meant to tell you. Also at Pizza Hut, Jerry, her husband, and her daughter Jade, they didn't want this, but Suko and I had a bowl of ice cream. I had the largest bowl of ice cream I've ever had in Pizza Hut, because you can go and help yourself, dear. Oh yes, they give you a bowl and you can go as many times as you want. Next time I go to Pizza Hut, I might just have the ice cream. Oh, it's delicious. And let me tell you, it's the best ice cream I've ever tasted. Really nice. Comes out of one of those machines, you know, the soft thing. And I sprinkled mine with chocolate raisins. And Suko, she done her ice cream. She had about 3 smart. I said, "Oh, come on, Suko, get the chocolate raisins on." She said, "Well, just give me a few." So I put a whole thing on there because I knew she wanted them. Come on, when you're on holiday, you don't worry about these things, do you? And we had that ice cream. As well as that, going back to the theatre now, half time, we had another ice cream, which I have to say wasn't as nice. Okay, but for a tub of ice cream, it was £2 in the theatre, and actually, I thought that was reasonable. I thought that was acceptable. Quite often, you know, you go into a cinema and they want £6 for a hot dog and a Coke, which I think is an absolute total rip-off. But £2 for a small ice cream in a theatre, yes, that's acceptable. So that was half time, and then I don't know what the break was, about 15 minutes. I don't understand all these people who rush to the bar at half time. I mean, it's so difficult to get served. That's the one thing in theatres, they never seem to have enough people working behind the bar, do they? I suppose when you think about it, it's because they're always people are trying to save money, aren't they? If they could get someone to come in and work for like 20 minutes just to serve those drinks, I suppose they would do, would they? I don't know. So then the second half started, and it was all fantastic. And then it finished, and what an experience. What a great show, and thoroughly recommend it to anyone that wants to see it. The show got a standing ovation. I think the curtain went up and down about 3 or 4 times. Really good. Really, really good. And it was lovely for Suko to and her family, Jerry and Jade, to take me out to see The Lion King. Funnily enough, next week, and as I say, I haven't been to the musical theatre for years, or theatre for years. Next week, I'm actually going to see Priscilla, Queen of the Desert with someone, although I've had to buy that ticket myself. Oh dear, no eating for me this week, dear. £59 this one was. Oh, so I'm going to see Priscilla, Queen of the Desert with my friends Keith George. Now, Keith George is an artist. He does singing and he does drag. He actually does 2 completely different things. He is the Boy George experience. That is, he does stuff like Boy George did, Come a Chameleon and all that business. So he does like a tribute act to Boy George. He also does a drag act called Mandy Gap. Mandy Gap. Now, drag acts choose names that they think are funny. Some of them are quite rude. Mandy Gap, he got that name from the underground stations. When you get off the trains at some platforms, they say, "Mind the gap." Mind the gap, Mandy Gap. So that's where we got that name from. And he was able to get tickets for that, and he said, "Do you want to come, Chris?" So I'm going with him to see Priscilla, Queen of the Desert next week. And actually, I will try and get him on the show, because he's a very interesting, funny person who I've known for many, many years. He's a very, very good friend of mine. And when he comes on the show, you've got to try and get yourself watching the video to it, because he is often confused for me, and I'm often confused for him, and you'll see that we are very, very alike in our looks. Okay? By the way, if you're listening to the show on radio and you ever want to watch it, just go to unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, and you can either watch or listen to the show on that site. Okay, unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. So hopefully I'll be able to get him on the show, and we'll do a little thing with that very, very soon. Okay, so after the show, I had arranged something very special. My friend Ron, he's got a lovely car, he's got a Saab, and I'd arranged for him to meet us right outside the theatre at 10:30 and give Suko and the family a tour of London at night. It's all very well driving around during the daytime, or walking around during the daytime, or getting on one of those open-topped buses, but London at night looks completely different to London during the day. So that's why I arranged this thing, and Ron kindly agreed to take my friends around London. And as we come out, and there he was, there. And we walked into a car while all these other people were queuing up for their buses and tubes. And Ron's quite a good driver. He's a bit fast sometimes, but he's a good driver. And Jerry, I put in the front of the car, and Suko and a daughter Jade were in the back of the car with me, and he took us round to see some of the sights of London at night time, because it all lit up so beautifully. And we went to see St Paul's Cathedral, the Tower of London, where people used to have their heads cut off. Dreadful. Tower Bridge. And we were able to get, Ron knows how to get really close to Tower Bridge. I mean, very close to it. Unfortunately, what we didn't realise is that half of the bridge is covered at the moment in scaffolding, where they're obviously doing some painting work or something like that. He then took us to see the London Eye, which is the big Ferris wheel on the Thames. And the Thames, for those of you Americans there, the Thames is our river. It's not called Thames. A lot of Americans thinks it's called Thames. It's actually Thames. You don't pronounce the H. Thames, okay? Repeat after me. The Thames River. Répétez, s'il vous plaît. I didn't hear you do it. Come on, you've got to play the game. I know you're sitting in a quiet office. Just do it under your breath quietly so that... Or put your hand in front of your mouth, right, and go, Thames. No one will notice. Come on, you ready? Not Thames, you say Thames. After the tone, Thames. Well done. You weren't bad that time. You see? I could do English lessons as well, dear. We got it all here. We got it all. Hang on, what time have I got to finish today? Where's my... Did I write that down? Yes. Oh, we've got a good 10 minutes to go yet, haven't we? So we saw the Ferris wheel on the Thames, and then we saw... he took us down to see Big Ben, which must be the most famous clock in the world. Standing there in its majestic glory, and it chimes every 15 minutes. I don't know if you knew that. Some people might not know that, but Big Ben does chime every 15 minutes during the... I don't know if it chimes at night, does it? Do they turn the bell off at night? I can't remember now. But yeah, Big Ben is actually the name of the bell in the clock. The actual clock is called the Westminster clock. Okay? Not many people know that, but most people, virtually everyone, refers to it as Big Ben. Big Ben is the name of the bell in there. And it's, I think, the second bell they had, because the first one cracked. And a massive, massive bell, and they had a lot of problems making it when it was put up there many, many years ago. So after that, we then drove them back to their hotel in Covent Garden. They rented an apartment for a while. Where was it? Red Lion Square, wasn't it? We drove them back there. And Suko and Jerry and Jade were very thankful. Poor old Jade, she was ever so tired, wasn't she? Because she's only 13 years old, Jade, but poor thing, she was ever so tired, and she looked like she was ready to fall asleep. So they said thank you to Ron, and that was it. They went back to their apartment. Ron took me back to my car, and then I started the drive up to Lincolnshire to see my sister, which went fairly easy, except at one point where they'd closed the roads and I had to take a bit of a diversion. And it annoys me when they divert traffic. Usually they've got signs saying diversion and there's an arrow somewhere, you know, telling you where to go. But often what they do is divert the traffic, and they I don't know if they do it purposely or what, but they forget some of the arrows, so you're not quite sure when you get to roundabouts it should say diversion left or right or straight on. Sometimes the sign's missing and you're not sure what way you're going, so I did get a little bit lost for about 10 minutes, but it wasn't too bad, and I continued and I got up here. Oh, what was the time? And it was around about 3:45. It was a good 3-hour trip, so got up here around about 3:45, which wasn't too bad at all. No traffic anywhere, of course, at that time of night. And I've now been up here for 2 days, and that's it. And as always, it's so nice to be... I was getting itchy feet where I really wanted to see my sister. And she appears, and dogs all go mad when I come, and they recognise me ever so quickly. And I don't know where they are today. Dogs! See if I can get a couple of them out here. Dogs, where are you? Barney! Barney! I don't know where they are today. Duchess! 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 Here comes one. Hello, darling. You all right? You coming out? Bruno, come on, come out. Because Bruno is her... Hello, Duchess. Up you come here. Come on, up you come here. Bruno. Not Bruno, is it? Barney. Bruno's the... Here they are. Hello, boys. Ha ha ha. Come on, Salo. What have you been doing in there, eh? You naughty dogs. You want to come up my lap, little one? Barney? Yes. Up you come. Come on, up you come. Up you come. Right up. There we are. Up you come. Wow. He's a big dog now. He was so small a while ago. See, this is one of the things, you know, you've got to be able to... You've got to see some of the shows if you can possibly get to an internet, because you don't... I mean, You probably hear the dogs breathing and that, but you don't see them. Barney, Dutch has gone in now. Barney is the most beautiful little spaniel dog, and he's must be about a year old now, aren't you? How old are you now, boy? Hey? How old are you now? There you are, down he goes. I knew they'd come. Beautiful dogs. And the dogs go mad when I get to the front door, and they're all like jumping up and licking and everything. Duke, he's the older one, and he's a big, big black Labrador. So friendly. All of them are so friendly. Unfortunately, it does play havoc with my asthma a bit, but it's actually not been too bad on this visit. Sometimes it's worse than at other times. So that was that. And the next day, I took my sister and her husband Martin and her mother-in-law Doreen up to lunch out. We had, what did I have? I had steak and kidney pie. No, what was it? Beef and owl pie, I think that was it. Chips and baked beans. And my sister was not impressed that I asked for baked beans. She said, "What?" Yes, she said you're supposed to have vegetables with those. Come on, come here if you want, Barney. Barney. No, he's gone back in now. She said, "Can't you have vegetables like everyone else?" I said, "No." I said, "I want baked beans." So, come on, up you come then. Go on, up here. There you are. So, oh, all right. Put your paw down, boy. There's a good boy. So I had my baked beans. The landlord, when we ordered the baked beans, he looked at me, he said, "Baked beans?" I said, "Yes." And my sister said, "Well, that chef would be insulted because apparently he's won awards for his vegetables." I don't quite know how you win awards for vegetables. There's only so many ways you can cook them, isn't there? But anyway, that's what I had, and the dinner was lovely. And if you're ever in... now, what's the name of the town? It's in Lincolnshire. Oh, the town is called Martin. Martin, which is quite near where my sister lives. Alright, so the town is called Martin, and the name of the pub is called the Royal Oak. The food is magnificent in there. They do fish and chips and all sorts, okay? Highly recommended. It's only a little village, Martin. There's nothing there. But this pub does the most amazing food. The Royal Oak in Martin in Lincolnshire. So I had that. We came back and then potted around the house for a while and went to meet my nephew who was coming back from school, Jimmy, 12. He's only 12. And where were we meeting him? Now this will shock and horrify you because it shocked and horrified me when she told me. Apparently, on a Wednesday, right, Jimmy meets my niece, that's Tracy, who works in a pub. And he gets there and he's got a bag of crisps and a cold Coke waiting for him. In the pub. He goes to the pub on Wednesdays after school. I've never heard anything like it. I'm sure this is illegal. So we got to the pub and Jimmy's... I thought I'll hide from him, and I had my hooded top on. I put the hood up, but unfortunately he recognised me straight away. And as soon as I saw him, he went all shy and giggled, and I immediately went over to beat him up. And we started getting up to mischief in there, my sister and my sister... Oh, hang on, I'm losing my bits of paper here. 1 minute. There we are. My sister and was telling us off as she likes to. You know, me and Jimmy do get into such trouble sometimes. So we had that, and it's just lovely to see my niece and all that, my little nephew. And after that, we went back home, had a little bit of a sleep, got up, had something to eat. We had dinner as well. Oh, I don't know, I ate a lot that day. And my sister did a lovely cottage pie, which was delicious, absolutely delicious. So we had that. And then we were supposed to go to the cinema. Now, my sister wanted to see this programme, something about someone's sister or something like that. But we got to the cinema and we'd read the times wrong. We thought it was 7:30, or we thought it was 7:50, but it was actually 7:30. And of course we got there. And so, well, how long's the film been on? 10 minutes already. So we thought, oh no, well, can't do it then. So we then decided, instead of going to the cinema, we went to see my other nephew, Gary, who's recently moved into a rented accommodation with his girlfriend Stacey. So we walked down to there. Stacey was still at work. It was about, I suppose it was about 8:30 now, and went in and saw. It's a brand new house actually, lovely place, but 4 bedrooms, and I kind of don't know why they've, because it seems to be like they've overstretched themselves a bit here. They've gone straight in at the big house end, whereas this is the wrong way to do it. If you're a young couple, you're a bit strapped for cash, it's absolutely the wrong way to do it. What you should do is start off with 1 bedroom, maybe 2. But that's what they decided to do, so time will tell. Will they be able to afford that or not? I hope so. But I'm not sure they will. They may have to go down a size, which is worse than starting off small and going bigger, isn't it, really? But you have to see, you know, people have to learn sometimes their own way, so good luck to them. Lovely house, garden's very, very small. It'd be too small a garden for me, but that's not unusual. New houses do now tend to have very, very small gardens. My garden at home, reasonable size. My sister's garden, she's got a very big garden here. She's got a pond and that all in the back, which I was hoping to show you on the show, but unfortunately because it's a little bit wet out here, can't do it today. All right, so that's that. My brother-in-law around there, Martin's brother, that's my sister's husband, David, was staying the night there as well. And it's all well and good, really. So that's how it's been for me the last 2 days. And there we are. Thank you very much, Suko and Jerry and Jade, for taking me out. Still having a lovely time at my sister's at the moment. And time for me to go. Don't forget the email, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. See you on the next show. Thanks for watching and listening. Bye-bye.